Hi, my name is Debbie Peck, and I'm a social media person, and I also do online marketing. And I've been working with Mike Wolf for a couple of years, and I really wanted to tell you a story as to why I feel so compelled to work with Mike and why I believe in his message so much. A couple of years ago, my brother was working for a mill in northern British Columbia, and he's had this job for his whole life. He's in his 40s and he's never had another job, and it was a really great job actually. And there was a huge explosion at the mill, and it was completely destroyed. And unfortunately, there was a couple of lives lost, and my brother was fine, but he and over 200 other people lost their jobs, and he hasn't worked for a couple of years now. So, it's been a really big struggle. And one of the things that Mike teaches about is passive income and how to set yourself up properly for financial freedom and for the future. And so I feel really passionate about promoting Mike and the message that he has to put out there. And I just want to let Mike tell you about what he does. Mike?
Well, thanks, Debbie. And your brother is a really good example of what happens. I mean, we think when we're young, we're indestructible, and that things are just going to continue on as they are, and all the time. I mean, things happen when you least expect it. I had a problem myself earlier, when was it, last year actually, where I was having trouble walking. I was having some major inflammation in my feet, and I was actually in a wheelchair for part of that time. And I was just so thankful that I had created the passive income that I did, because one, I could afford to pay for, to get some specialists, because up here in Canada, as you know, it takes a long time to get in to see a doctor. So I hired a health coach in California that I had to pay out of my own pocket to go see him, but I got the care I needed, and I was in a position where I could not only afford it, but I didn't have to worry about where my next paycheck was coming from. I didn't have to worry about going to work, and I could, I still didn't really relax. I still tried to run around, but I think my feet were telling me, they were sending me a message that it was time to slow down a little bit. And also I had to make some major changes to my diet. I became vegetarian during that time, and I don't want to go into a whole lot of detail, but I'm much better now, and I've lost some weight, my feet are much better, and I get around fine. But at that point, it was a good 3 or probably about 4 months that I wasn't sure if I was ever going to be able to walk properly again.
I was pushing you around in a wheelchair. We were in airports. Mike was speaking on stages across Canada, and I remember being in the Toronto airport. We had to get a wheelchair everywhere we went, and flying into Vancouver, we had to call ahead for a wheelchair. So it was a really big challenge, and if Mike didn't have that income coming in, it would have been scary, And the best part about it is it's not just for people like Mike. I mean, he teaches how people can do this for themselves and how they can create passive income, so that if something like this happens to you, because you really can't plan for the unexpected. I myself had cancer a couple of years ago, and you can't plan for things like that. And so you really, Mike teaches people how to plan for the things that you can't plan for.
For the unexpected.
Yeah.
Well, the bottom line is you don't have to have something bad happen in your life. Even better, have it so you can enjoy yourself now, or send your kids through school, or whatever it is. Plan an extra vacation or two, whatever it is you like.
Right.
And it all starts with one property. You don't have to. I didn't start off with 100 properties. I started off with one property over 20 years ago that I almost talked myself out of buying. And I often think, how different would my life be today if I hadn't have bought that one property? And it was a stretch. It was a big stretch for me at the time, and I didn't have the, due diligence skills I have today. And to be honest, today I wouldn't even do that deal. But that mediocre deal totally changed my life and led me on an amazing journey that's taken me to where I am today.
Yeah, and in fact, Mike has a great lifestyle. People are so jealous of his lifestyle, because if you follow him online at all, you'll see pictures posted all the time. He was, a week or two ago, traveling up and down the coast of California, visiting wineries and things like that. And, it's Tuesday afternoon and most people are at their desk, and Mike's sipping wine at a winery, or, jetting off to, all these fabulous cities, or laying on the beach in Mexico, or, he's got this great lifestyle, and he has that ability because he's got that passive income coming in month after month after month. And
even better than that. I mean, those are all great, and I love that. Don't get me wrong, but also gives me the ability to give back a lot too.
Exactly.
And that's even more, to to me more fulfilling. When I was younger, I was all about the toys and having all the best stereos and the best TVs and the best of everything. And now it's like I love to travel, and I love to meet people, and I love to help people. And to me, that's the most significant thing. The wine tasting is great. Don't get me wrong, I love it. And the ice cream tasting, that's a whole other story. But really, the thing that really lights me up is being able to give back and help people. And I know so many people struggling through this recession. And in my mind, if everybody knew what I have up here, there wouldn't be a recession right now. It's just a slight change in mindset.
Right.
And it's just knowing the advantages that real estate can provide. It's better than any other investment for a number of reasons. One is you can create that passive income. You get tenants paying to live in your property, and that money, once you set that up, that money comes in forever. It doesn't come in just this month or the next month. It comes in forever. You can't turn it off as long as you have a good team making sure that it's always rented.
Yeah.
And
the cool thing about what Mike does is he shows other people how to do this. So, you can really shorten your learning curve. He's got over 20 years of experience behind him, and he's made all these mistakes and done all
time.
the different things. And so he's been there, done that. And he is able to take people and show them in a much shorter time frame how to invest properly, how to do due diligence properly, and really get them into a property much quicker than you would have normally been able to do. So I love promoting him because I think he has such an important message. And it's when you have income coming in and you don't have to worry, you get to spend that time with your families. You can send your kids to college. You don't have to worry about where that money's coming from. So I encourage you to talk to Mike. He actually gives a free strategy session, so to just see where you're at and if it's a good fit to work with him.
Yeah, the other really cool thing about real estate in general is a lot of people don't know this. It's very highly leveraged, meaning you don't need a whole lot of money to get started. A lot of people assume they need a whole ton of cash, and we see places like Texas. I see single-family homes changing hands for like $10,000. And you don't even need to have that $10,000 yourself. If you don't have room on a line of credit or credit cards, I can show you different ways to raise the money to buy these properties. And so you don't even need to have anything to start. I bought my first property. I had a whole bunch of student loans. I had just graduated from university, and I had what seemed like an insurmountable amount of student loans. It was like $25,000 or something like that. At that time, it just seemed like this huge hurdle. And I remember I bought my first property, and I had to use some of my own money because I didn't know the strategies that I know now, but I did everything it took to get that money. And once again, had I not done that one property, I wouldn't be where I am today. So it all starts with one. Don't think that you have to go out and buy 20 properties tomorrow in order to have this amazing lifestyle. The property you buy today is going to help you to get to property number 2 and just keep building and expanding. And I can tell you how to do that.
Yeah.
And it's a lot easier than you might think.
Both Mike and I are lifelong learners. We do a lot of seminars, we attend a lot of events, and one of the things that we both know is that you have to invest in yourself to keep going. And I was just at an amazing event in Arizona recently, and I think the biggest takeaway that I learned from that event was just take the first step. And sometimes we don't know where it's going to go, but as long as you take that first step, the rest will follow.
Right. Just find the right people to guide you. Find somebody you trust who's already been there before, and save yourself the mistakes. And that's one of the things. If I could have a do-over, and I'm very happy, I'm very grateful for where I'm at, but I made a lot of mistakes. If I would have had a mentor, when I was first starting, that's the one thing I would change. But I mean, back then, real estate investing wasn't really a profession. Yeah. People dabbled in real estate investing, but nobody did it for a living. And once again, I mean, it didn't happen overnight, but once I got into it, it really became an obsession for me, and I still love it. I'm still passionate to this day, and that's why I continue to do it. But one of my other passions is to teach what I learned and pass it on and help people. So
yeah, and Mike's got a lot of students who have really benefited from what he's taught them, and of course they've done it in a much shorter time frame.
Oh, of course, well, absolutely, and that's what I always tell my students is you should be much more successful than me because I have to do a lot of trial and error, make a lot of mistakes, and there's no need for somebody to do that if they have somebody who's already been there before. And that's really the key message is that don't do the trial and error thing if you don't have to.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, bottom line, contact Mike, and he will do a free strategy session with you and figure out where you're at and if it's a good fit to work with him. And there's really a limited number of sessions he can do. He travels a lot. He's extremely busy these days, so we'd love to be able to set something up for you. So give us a shout, an email, and we'll set a time for you to talk to Mike.
Great.
Thanks very much.
Thanks very much, Debbie, and thank you for tuning in.